Hi, my name is Kate Crawford, and on behalf of the Association of Science and Technology Centers in Washington, D.C., I'd like to welcome you to our portion of the International Year of Astronomy's 100 Hours of Astronomy webcast. You just heard from the Franklin in Philadelphia about Galileo and the birth of observational astronomy. Now we're going to spend the next hour and a half talking with science centers around the world about the importance of space observation, past, present, and future. So we're going to start at the Hamburg Planetarium, where we'll learn about the impact that developments in observational astronomy had on the economic evolution of the modern society. After that, we'll be joined by our friends from the MTN Science Center in South Africa for an introduction to African star lore. We'll then move on to Northern Ireland and the Armagh Observatory to learn about the long tradition of astronomy in Ireland and how the staff at Armagh is reaching out to communities across the world. We'll hear again from Hamburg, this time about how scientists today are using information from real telescopes to create 3D virtual telescopes to explore the universe. Finally, we'll end with an exercise led by students from the Eleno Germaniki School in Greece, who will help us use observational astronomy to answer questions about Jupiter. After the last presentation, we'll have a few minutes to take some of your questions, which are welcome to submit to us at any point by typing them in the chat box on this screen. And now, to get us started, the Hamburg Planetarium in Hamburg, Germany. Hamburg?
Hello. Welcome in Hamburg. Welcome in Hamburg Planetarium in Northern Germany. This is a bit of a surprise. We didn't think we were first, but welcome. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Give the viewers around the world a round of applause. Maybe here from the audience here in. Can you hear us? Well, Hamburg is a big port city, and in fact it's among the 10 biggest ports in the world. And towards the end of the 19th century, its importance was growing as it became the biggest sea trading city in continental Europe. And safe trading and safe traveling was vital for the people at that time, and as it is vital for us today, and the transport of goods and people. So this relies on a framework of space and time, to know where you are and what time it is. So essential for each society, essential for seafaring cities and communities. And there were special tools based on telescopes, special interest telescopes who were necessary to fulfill that purpose. And let me show you one element everybody knows about. Here I have a very nice piece. I have to wear those gloves to touch it. It's from the collection of Peter Tam from the International Maritime Museum here in Hamburg. It's the biggest international museum International Maritime Museum, the only international maritime museum. And you see this big sextant. So this has a small telescope here. So even sextants, even navigational tool, use a sort of special interest telescopes for taking positions, for shooting stars, as you said. You had to adjust here and change the mirror here and position the star in accordance with the horizon, to take a position, a reading from a star, from the sun at noon. And this was a sort of life insurance for all ships traveling around the world, this instrument. And you have to be reminded of that fact all the time when you look at the sky, that this, it was a framework. We need a framework of time and space, a spatial framework, a grid of reference, and telescopes play a most important role to create a high precision grid. And the sextant is only one element in that. And here in Hamburg, as it was happening, same was happening in other cities, port cities, and also especially in London, there were special interest telescopes. There were other telescopes, and these were transit instruments, big telescopes looking at the meridian, and they were cataloging the stars. So establishing a reference frame was the most important thing, and without the telescope, without that, it wouldn't be possible to secure trade routes around the world. So the telescope was in fact an economic success. It was very important. That's why most of the observatories there was a boom of observatories especially in the 18th and in the 19th century, and observatories like London and also here in Hamburg in 1825, and this telescope was very well known for its astrometry, for its positional astronomy, which became a backbone for the fleet of ships and trade routes around the world. And so you have to look at the telescope not just as a tool for finding out about the night sky, but the star catalogs were the reference frame for our daily life, for all organizing societies around the world, high precision grids in time and space. So, and the stars and the reference frame was the most accurate source for timekeeping, for clocks, before the advent of the atomic clock, certainly. So please look at the stars and remember, be aware that the stars are your friends, and they will guide you every time, and for generations they have guided us here on Earth. Thank you very much. So this was Hamburg. I hand us back to NASA.
To our friends in Hamburg. Thank you, Tom. Hi, thank you, Tom. Okay, so I think up next we have the